Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to episode 2 for grade 10, unit 10. Now, in this episode, we will discuss grammar and language functions. And I know that you are afraid of grammar and language functions. They're the easiest, and I will give you tips that will help you answer all the questions and use grammar fluently. Now, look at the slide with me. Adverbs of manner. What do I mean by adverbs of manner? Have you heard of the term adverb? First of all, adverbs are parts of speech, just like a noun or a verb or an adjective. What is the adverb exactly? Now, if we took a look at the first sentence, I will say the kids played kindly with the cat. The word that I underlined, played kindly, is an adverb. Now the second sentence is, the kids were kind with the cat. What is the difference between kindly and kind? Now, you can see the word adverb and the word adjective on the same slide. And the first word is kindly and the second one is kind. Basically, adverbs and adjective describes things, but what are the things? The adverb is used to describe the verb, and the adjective is used to describe the nouns. Basically, the adverb is an adjective with an ly at the end of the word. For example, kind is an adjective. If I want to describe a verb using kind, I have to add ly at the end to make it an adverb. Take a look at this example. He sang beautifully at the ceremony. What am I doing here? I am describing how someone does something. So I'm describing the verb. That's why adverbs come after a verb, because adverbs describe the verb, unlike the adjective, which describes nouns. So when I want to describe the way he's singing, I said beautifully. I added ly to the word beautiful to make it an adverb because I want to describe a verb. Let's take a look at turning adjectives into adverbs. Happy is an adjective. If I want to turn it into an adverb, I will add an ly at the end, so it will become happily. Easy is an adjective. If I want to make it an adverb, I will say easily. Calm, calmly. Dangerous, dangerously. Repeated, repeatedly. So I added ly after the word, the adjective, to make it an adverb because I want to describe a verb. Take a look at the first two words, happy and easy. Now, there is something missing in the word. You guessed, the y. Now, when I want to add an ly at the end of the adjective to make it an adverb, I have to check. If it ends with an y, I have to replace the y with I. So happy will be happily. Easy will be easily. Don't forget that. Let's take some examples of adverbs of manner. The school bus is moving so slowly. Now, slowly here is describing the movement of the bus. So it's describing the verb. That's why I used an adverb. My doctor told me to eat healthily. So the word healthily is describing the way I should eat. So it's describing a verb. The patient waited nervously for the results. So nervously here is also describing the verb. Khalid's mom thinks he drives fast. Now, Do we have an adverb in this sentence? Look closely at the word fast. Is it an adverb? It seems not, but it is because it's describing the way Khalid drives. Drives here is a verb. So why fast doesn't have an ly at the end? Some of the adverbs in English are irregular. What does that mean? They have a different rule. Let's view them together. For example, if I want to say good as an adverb, I will not say goodly. It won't work. I have to replace it with the word well. Well is the adverb for good. Fast will remain as it is, and it will not change. Hard as well will remain as it is and will not change, because if we added ly, it will have a different meaning. Hardly doesn't mean in a hard way. It has a different meaning. Late is also remains as it is and it will not change. Let's take a look at those words when they are an adjectives and when they are an adverbs. He is a good driver. This is an adjective. If I want to turn it into an adverb, I will say he drives well. Leopards are fast animals. I am describing the leopard. So fast here is an adjective. Leopards run fast. Here I am describing the verb. That's why this is an adverb. Noura is a hard worker. Noura works hard is an adverb. He is always late for work. He came late to work again. Now, how can you guess the difference between an adverb and an adjective if they remain the same? You have to ask yourself, is it describing a verb or a noun? If it's describing a verb, then it's an adverb. Let's take this exercise together. Fill in the gaps by turning the adjective I gave you into an adverb. Farah, gentle, stroked her new kitten. Munira played chess, excellent, last night. Badr worked hard to improve his English. Fahad cheered loud when his team won. Khalid was bad, injured in the accident. The students passed the final exam easy. Now, you have the adjectives, but because we're describing verbs in these blanks, you have to turn them into adverbs. Let's check the answers. Farah gently stroked her new cat. So I turned the word gentle into gently. Munira played chess excellently last night. Badr worked hard. Hard doesn't change. Fahad cheered loudly when his team won. Khalid was badly injured in the accident. The students passed the final exam easily. You see, it's very easy to differentiate between the two. Now, open your books with me. Student's book, page 80, exercise 2. Let's fill in the gaps using the words that provided to us in the book. They are all adjectives and we have to turn them into adverbs to fill in the gaps. Now, a man was hurrying across the US-Mexican border on his bicycle when, look for the suitable word and turn it into an adverb. When, suddenly, he was stopped by a guard. The guard pointed to 2 bags on the man's back and asked, look for the word, suspiciously, what's in the bags? Sand, said the cyclist. Look for the appropriate word, calmly. Get them off. We'll have a look, said the guard angrily. The cyclist took the bags off his back slowly and emptied them to show that they held only sand. Then he reloaded the bags. Fill in the gaps. Find the word. Quickly. put them on his shoulders, and continued to cycle across the border. The next week, the same thing happened again. The guard demanded to see the 2 bags, which again contained nothing but sand. This went on every week for 6 months until one day the cyclist did not appear. A few days later, the guard happened to meet the cyclist in the town. "Say, friend, can you tell me something?" asked the guard. Look for the word. If he's asking him, so he is what? Curiously. "We knew you were doing something, secretly smuggling something across the border, but we didn't know what." "What were you smuggling?" "Bicycles," replied the man rudely. You see how we change the adjective into an adverb easily? Now, the next grammar we're going to study is the use of used to and used to. Now, when do we use used to? We use used to when we want to talk about past actions, past habits, and states. For example, if I said, "Yusuf used to play video games, but now he prefers football." So he's not playing video games anymore because he prefers football. So this is a past action or a past habit. "I used to waste my money, but now I save it." You see how I used to here because it's something in the past and it's a past habit. And I want you also to pay attention to the verb coming after used to. It's in the infinitive. Used to play, used to waste. Now, for example, my brother used to read comics when he was younger, but not anymore. So used to is for past actions. We used to go to school together every morning. So we used to do this thing and not anymore. And go here is in the infinitive, following used to. Now, the other use for use to without the ed is for 2 things. If we want to speak in the negative form or in the question form. And you may ask yourself, why? We have to use the auxiliary verb in the negative for used to. So I would say didn't, okay? And I will also use the auxiliary verb did in forming questions. So I will use did. And we all know the verbs coming after auxiliary verbs are always in the infinitive. Let's take a look at the first example. If I want to use used to for the negative form, how am I going to say it? I didn't used to like ice cream, but now I do. Because I am using the negative form and I'm using the auxiliary verb didn't, I put used to in the infinitive, use, instead of used to. Let's take an example. That's weird. I didn't used to wait that long to see the doctor. Fahad didn't used to read novels. Now he enjoys them. So remember, if you're adding didn't, remember not to add ed at the end. You will not use used to. You will use used to by itself. Now, if I want to form a question, how am I going to say it? Did you used to play computer games when you were younger? See, because used to is following the auxiliary verb did, I have to put it in the infinitive. Use to instead of used to. Let's take an example. Did you used to have your grocery from this shop? Or I can say, did he used to visit your house frequently? Now, check your understanding. If I said, Sarah didn't used to have such a long hair, and I said, Sarah didn't used to have such a long hair, which one is the correct form? If I said, I used to know Noura well when I was a student, or I said, I used to know Noura well when I was a student, take a close look at those sentences and choose the right form. That's correct. The first one is correct. Sarah didn't used to have such a long hair. And the other one, I used to know Noura well when I was a student. Now, I want you to open your student's book, page 80, exercise 3. Complete the sentences. Did Ahmed blank live in Qatar? The airport staff didn't blank wear a uniform. We blank own a black sports car. Now fill these gaps using used to or used to only. Check the auxiliary verb, check the tense of the sentence, and choose the correct form. The first one is used to. The second one is used to as well. And the third one is used to. Well done if you got it correct. Choose the right answer. My brother blank play football when he was in college. Is it didn't used to or didn't used to? 2. Ride a bike when you were a child. Did you used to or did you used to? Which one is correct? 3. I blank live in Kuwait but I moved to Dubai. Which answer is correct? Used to or used to? Take a moment. Let's check your answers. B, B, and A. Did you get it right? Well done. Now, let's learn about language functions. Language functions are basically situations where you imagine yourself in it and respond to it. So, before you answer any language functions questions, you have to pay attention to the following tips. Write what you would say in the situation provided to you. Write exactly what you would say. Imagine yourself in that situation. And then your answer should be a full grammatical sentence, meaning you cannot write just yes or okay or goodbye and consider it an answer. You should write a full sentence. Let's take a look at the first example. Your friend used to play the violin, but now she doesn't. Think about it. How are you going to answer it? Imagine yourself in this situation, talking to your friend to go back to playing the violin. What will you say? You used to play the violin beautifully. You should start playing it again. See, it's a full sentence, and I imagined myself in this situation. The second example, your sister is wasting her money on video games and not saving anymore. So what would you advise your sister maybe? Or you might warn her. Imagine yourself in this situation. What would you say? You used to save your money. Why are you wasting it now? So here, you're raising questions because you want your sister to think more. This is how you're supposed to answer a language functions question. Now, in this episode, we learned about adverbs of manner and used to with used to. And we also gave you tips to answer language functions questions. That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much and see you soon.